Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of What Ted Says, where it's always time to help you get a fatter wallet and a bigger net worth. Now, I want to tell you something. We've been overwhelmed by how many people are watching our videos. So if you're watching these videos right now, please do me a favor and click the subscribe button. That will get you in the action to start getting all the videos. And then what you want to do is click that notifications button, because this will notify you when we put out our 2 videos a week, that you can see a longer thing that I'll generally do on financial hacks and other things like that, and motivational stuff and leadership on a Monday. And then I'm usually doing a shorter one to teach you other things on a Friday. And you'll get these 2 videos and you will love them to help you really, like I said, get a fatter wallet and get a bigger net worth, because that's what I'm trying to do here with you, whether it's career-wise or these kind of finance hacks all over the place. So today, I had a great topic for you, which is when is the right time to charge your child rent? Now, I get this all the time, and they talk about the pandemic for COVID. Well, there's an epidemic that's been going on in Europe for years. In fact, 50% of the kids, 50, between the ages of 18 and 34 in Italy live at home. Now, you could say this is never going to happen in the United States, but right now we have crossed the 30% mark, and maybe with COVID it might have gotten higher into the 40 to 50% range ourselves of the kids that are in that 18 to 34 range that live with mom and dad. So one of the questions is, while my child is living with me, should I charge them rent? So let's talk about what I did, and we'll talk about where this starts. Because it is a very difficult thing to be thinking about, because you want to help your child, but the same token, you want to be able to teach them some responsibility. So the first thing that you want to do is figure out, what are your expectations going to be in terms of how long your child is going to live at home? Because without any expectations, there's a chance that they could be living there the next 5 or 10 years. Now you'd say, no, that's never going to happen. But we see many cases of this happening right now. So by setting a deadline and saying, okay, within 18 months or by January 1st, 2022, you need to find an apartment of your own. It now sets a definite deadline of when your child is going to have to find that apartment. And there may be other expectations that you have while they're living at home. If they don't have a job, that you expect that they finish a resume, that you expect that they apply for at least 2 jobs a week, that you expect that they sit down and actually put a budget together to say, what will my expenses be when I'm on my own? Because how can they find a job knowing how much they need to make if they don't know what their expenses are actually going to be? And then from there, I highly recommend that you actually do charge them rent. But in this case, what you might do to help them out is put the rent into your savings account or a separate bank account, and know that you would give them a lump sum to start life when they actually get out there and rent their first apartment. So one of the questions you may be asking from here is like, well, how will my child feel about this? And the answer is, you don't care. Of course that you care about your child, but what you should know is they're probably going to be feeling a lot of anxiety. Of course they will, because now you're saying, look, home is not where you're going to live long term. You're going to live somewhere else. You've now set a definite time frame, and you've layered out a set of expectations for them. So that natural pressure is going to create anxiety. But like anything, for most kids, the adrenaline will kick in. And they'll start to take action by saying, wow, if I have this deadline, now I know more about the expectations. I know how much money I'm going to have to make once I've done a budget, and I can start looking for that job that will propel me to be able to actually pay for my own rent in my own apartment. One of the things that I've seen with a lot of families, if you don't do this and your kids start to realize that they can eat there, sleep there, and do whatever they want, you may think that that's just fine, but they're going to be living there for a long time. The next question you should be asking yourself in here is, what is the actual rent that I'm going to charge my child? Now, you can look at something like an Airbnb, but what you want to be thinking about is, if I had to rent this room out to a stranger, what would I charge for rent? Or if they are using one bedroom that's 120 square feet and your house is 2,000 square feet, what percentage of the house are they using from a square footage perspective? They are your child, so you also have to ask the question that in lieu of rent, if I didn't charge them rent, would I be asking them to have certain responsibilities in the household? I'm a big fan, at least one way or the other, but I like both, that they have responsibilities, like they do laundry or they do the dishes in conjunction with paying rent, just so they get that overall feel of responsibilities, because eventually they're going to have to do this on their own, and you don't want to have a failure to launch.
All right, all right, all right.
Final thought in here is that you want to ask yourself the question of how do you avoid having arguments at home? Now, look, one of the most difficult things I ever did is have to kick my daughter out, so to speak, and make her get her own apartment. But she was so much better off for it, so much more mature, and so much more responsible today. And the way that you get around having arguments, and you ought to watch one of our other videos around this, is around having quality expectations and also having quality support. The way to build that trusting relationship with your child is to set out those expectations up front and also let them know what you're going to do. The more honest, open, and forthright communication you can have with them, the better off that you are going to be. So, what do you do with all this? Now you can make a decision. When do I charge my child rent? How much do I charge them for rent? And what way to charge them for the rent? We have so many other great videos on this channel. You should check them all out, anywhere from how to make $1 million all the way to our used Tesla video, and even fast food and thinking about what's the best dollar value menu that you should get. Is it Wendy's or is it McDonald's? So if you love this video, just tell us, put some comments in here. Click that subscribe button to make sure you get all this great information on the What Ted Says channel and all these episodes that will be in here. Make sure that you click the notifications button so you can be notified when our videos come out on Monday or Friday. And please feel free to share this video if you like this, or if you know someone who's struggling right now with figuring out what rent to charge their child. Thanks for watching this episode of What Ted Says.